me you're looking for. Welcome. Don't change that dial. That's right. This is G, all astrology. You got the right place. I'm here to give you your video for April 2023. That's right. Taurus. This is your April 2023 with me. And we're going to talk about three main things for the month of April. We're going to first off start talking about Mars. All right. Mars is making a move. Hold on. Let me turn the volume down on this thingamajigger. Mars is making a move this month. And it's pretty important because Mars energy can be really assertive energy. And if we're not careful, we can get into trouble. So I have to remember this for myself because it's Mars going into the sign of Cancer, and Cancer is emotions. Okay. So Mars is out of Gemini now. It actually leaves Gemini like the last 3 days of March. Okay. So we're done with Mars being, Mars retrograde is done. We don't have to worry about that. Mars is still out of bounds at the beginning of April, but it's decreasing in numbers. Okay, so that's good news. Mars going into Cancer. Cancer is water and it's feelings. It's nurturing, it's home, it's family, it's the mother wound, it's the tribe energy. Like they feel like my family, even though they're not my family. We're not related by blood. It's my tribe, right? Cancer energy can also be your home, like where you live, like literally the sticks and the bricks or whatever it is that you call home. Okay. Now Mars going there, Mars is like a starter. Some could say an instigator, right? Mars likes to start stuff because it's bored. That's the problem with Mars energy that people don't seem to understand. If Mars is not constantly physically challenged, it gets bored. It needs to be physically challenged. Mars and Pluto. But we're going to stay on track here, just Mars. Mars needs to be physically challenged. So if Mars isn't challenged and it's bored, it may start things because something is better than no thing with Mars, because then it gets to do something, right? But for other people, it's going to drive them crazy. So Mars may throw monkey wrenches just because it's something. It's like, oh shit, look at that. It's an adventure. Let's figure this shit out, right? And it's like, what the hell? Please don't do that, right? Mars isn't trying to be mischievous. Like Mars doesn't think long-term to be mischievous. It's not a thinker. That's the thing about Mars. It's more like a child. It's just careless. It wants to play. It wants to do. It wants to go, go, go. That's Mars energy. Okay. So this is important to understand because it's going into Cancer, which is again, family. Yeah. Mars carries weapons. Mars was born with a weapon. Mars was born for war. And that's why Mars is such a good warrior, because it likes to be doing stuff. Mars will never see a challenge and think, what am I going to do? No, Mars is like, hell yeah, let's go kick some ass. Like that's Mars. Mars isn't going to back down. Mars is passionate, fiery and passionate, and it likes to lead. It wants to be first. Yeah, it's not, that's the thing about Mars. When it grows up, it realizes that when it's running that race or whatever the race is, right? Whatever it's racing against, it realizes over time there's more to being first. There's leading, right? But it takes a mature Mars to be a leader, because not anybody can lead. Anybody can be first, like physically, anybody can be first, but it doesn't mean they're a leader. So Mars is like the fine wine. It takes a while to mature. All right. So I'm kind of going deep with this for you, Taurus, because Scorpio is the opposite of you, and Scorpio is ruled by Mars, as is Pluto is also the co-ruler, right? So it is really important to see that, because Scorpio is part of you. You both run along the same line of energy, which means there are times when you're oscillating, you're functioning on your Venus energy, Taurus, and there are times when you're operating on your Martian energy, Scorpio. You see? So there's times where you're like, yeah, I just want peace and I want it to be beautiful. And I'm just thinking about what feels good for me. And I want my creature comforts. Where's the food? Where's the smell? Are the candles burning? It should be beautiful. I want harmony, right? I might, want to be with somebody. I like to explore my sensuality, Venus, right? But then there are times where you oscillate down here, the Mars energy, which is very physical. And that's why Venus talks about my physical body and sensuality, because Mars is the physical body. But Venus is over here about I can feel things with my body. And I like to feel things with my body. You get it? So sometimes Venus can be this Venus can go to her Martian side and be very assertive even. And she could be a little feisty, right? So it's good to understand that, because this Mars being in the sign of Cancer now, right? This will actually send beneficial energy to your Taurus energy, to you. Okay. This sends beneficial energy to your physical body, your ascendant, because that's what this reading is for. Now, if you're a Taurus birthday watching this video, keep watching. It's still good to hear that. But I really want you to get to find out what your rising sign is. That's also the same as your ascendant. They're one and the same. Okay. You can get that for free. It doesn't have to cost you anything, and it doesn't have to be painful. All you got to do is get your digits to me, your correct birth digits and location and time. Get them to me, and I will find out what your rising sign is for you. Okay. For those of you who know your rising sign and you know you're watching the Taurus video, because I'm doing a Taurus rising sign video, you are going to have some benefits, because Mars will now be sending sextile energy from the Cancer energy to you. Okay. But I want you to know where it's going to be in your chart. It's going to be in your third house of talking and communication. I'm trying to prepare myself for this, because I've already been doing a crap load of additional in communication and talking other than videos. No joke. Like, my vocal cords have been getting a workout because of my mom's stuff. Other than talking to my mom, I've been talking on the phone with siblings. And with some of the siblings, it's talking and texting. With some of the siblings, it's just texting. And then there's the emails, right? And then there's the 2-hour phone calls, right? And then, not to mention, mom in the morning and mom in the evening. Has to be twice a day, because it helps her to stay on track with some of her tasks that she actually needs, her medication and stuff. So, and I'm not an angel, just so you know. I'm not an angel. My mother's chart and my chart, there's that I shouldn't say camaraderie. There's the 8th house stuff of bonds from the past. We just have that. Like, that's just what it is. And so when I talk with her, she feels that. And so I know my siblings probably think I'm magical. Like, oh my God, it's a good thing. Like, how does she do it? I don't. Trust me. Trust me. I'm human like everyone else. It just so happens that I'm in my mom's 8th house, Taurus energy in her 8th house. So that's a house placement of deep bonds, deep emotional bonds, because our souls have memory and history together. That's what that means. You see? So I get no credit. Okay. So I just wanted to make that clear. And that's not going to be for everybody's mother. I would have to look at your mom's chart to know the answer to that, to be able to figure that out. So this energy affecting your physical body will likely help. Okay. Now, Mars in the 3rd house, this is talking and communication. This is phone calls. This is emails. This is everything I gave you examples of what I was going through with my family and my mom. Cancer energy is mom. Right. So I'm really, truly trying to prepare myself, because usually wherever Mars goes, it throws a monkey wrench into things. Mars can signify surgeries and swelling and inflammation. Mars can create difficulties with the emotions and being and difficulties for mom. It can. Depends how it looks in her chart, right? This isn't like a blanket statement. It's a possibility. Okay. But definitely things with family. All right. And communications, and they could be assertive. So maybe they're assertive for you, meaning you're being assertive with people you're talking to. And that would be siblings, but this could also be people you live with, like me. I have housemates. This could be next door neighbors. I may have an assertive next door neighbors. I'm already feeling it today, matter of fact, because we had a warm weather day. So yeah, we got kids and dogs in the yard, and yeah, just being more active. That's Mars, being more active. And if it's communications, then normally that's whether it's through sound of voice and talking and yelling and screaming, or it could even be, like I said, through snail mail, email, any forms of communication. This is social media. Okay. So keep that in mind. Now we go to April 5th. There's a full moon. It's a release and it's an ending, and it's with a significant one-on-one relationship. So your Libran energy is in your 6th house, right? Let me look it up. I always have to double check, because sometimes, depending upon where Mercury is up in the sky, I get jacked up. Okay, 6th house, we're on point. So significant one-on-one relationships. Let's be clear. This is a significant relationship first and foremost with yourself and with the health of your body and your daily routines. Okay. That's number one. The next thing is the significant one-on-one relationships are people that are a part of your domestic life and that are a part of your daily routine. So this means people you live with and people you work with because they're part of your daily routines unless you don't work anymore. Are you retired? Have you never worked? Can you not work? Like maybe you're disabled and you don't literally go to work. Okay, well then it's part of your daily routine, whatever it is and whoever is part of that. Okay, doesn't matter what their name is, doesn't matter what their relationship is to you. If they're part of your routine, they're part of this if you consider them a significant one-on-one relationship. Because the postman is part of my daily routine, but I don't have a significant one-on-one relationship with him. You follow? Right. So it's Libran energy, a Libran full moon. Now, the degrees on this is 16 degrees. 16 degrees. It's 1607 to be exact. So we're giving a 2-degree orb. So that would be 14, 15, 16, 17, 18 degrees. 2 degrees before, 2 degrees after. You follow? Full moons are closures, completions, endings, and releases. That's what full moons are naturally. All right. If you've got something at those degrees, you can comment to me and I can help you to figure out what that will mean for you. If you don't know and you want to know, comment to me and I will help you figure that out. I will at least get you on the track to knowing more. Okay. I will do whatever I can for you. All right. Now we move on through the month. We're keeping Mars in the back of our mind that we know that we got Mars sitting in the 3rd house in Cancer. And I just mentioned Libra energy, and we know that Mars squares significant relationships in Libra. All right. So this means in your home, possibly difficult communications with significant one-on-one relationships because Mars is angling it in a difficult way. I know that's not fun. Just remember, either you're being assertive or people that are significant in your life that are communicating to you are coming on a little strong. We all have the inclination. We'll both have the inclination. We either radiate it or it comes to us. Okay. So just keep that in mind as you're going through the month of April, because it's the entire month of April. And yes, even into May, Mars goes slow. So we get to the 19th of April and we have a new beginning coming. And it's a big new beginning because we have a new moon. But wait, there's more. It's a big new moon because it's a new moon in Aries. Yeah, we have an Aries new moon, but it's an eclipse because it's near the North Node. Taurus, this is really fascinating. For you who are listening, if you are a Taurus birthday, I really want you to find out and let me know, if possible, when your birthday is, because if you are a Taurus sun at 0, 1, or 2 degrees, this will be huge because the eclipse, the North Node, will be sitting at these degrees, right? It has a factor of emanating and radiating and reaching these degrees for you. That's what this eclipse is all about. All right. So it's about your values. It's about who you value and what you value. Valuing yourself, the love of yourself, your worthiness, right? That's Taurus energy. But it's also the income. It's also, what am I receiving? Is this worth this anymore? Right? It is also, who do I love? What do I love? Who and what I value. Yeah. So your Aries energy is in your 12th house. Let me double check. Yep. Your Aries energy is in your 12th house. And don't be confused. I know I'm throwing a lot of words in there, but Mars rules this Aries energy. Yeah, Mars rules Aries. So you see, Mars is a big deal in the month of April. It is screaming new beginnings. It is screaming we're changing things. It is screaming we're starting something. That is Mars energy. All right. Starting stuff. Aries, we're starting stuff. Okay. And the new start has to do with the values of your future and where you're headed for your future. Who do you want to be a part of your future? This is a solar eclipse on April 19th. It creates a new beginning. You're taking action for this new thing, this new beginning. It's very fiery and independent because it's technically at 2950 in the degrees of Aries. But because it's at that degree, I'm calling it 30 degrees of Aries. Okay. So we're going to do a 2-degree orb. So we're talking 28 and 29 degrees of Aries, 0 degrees of Taurus, and even 1 and possibly 2 degrees of Taurus. Okay? Because you could have multiple things, right? If you have your sun and then the nodes in Taurus, and if you have a house cusp line, this is going to be felt. The more objects that are there, the more planets or asteroids that are there, the bigger the orb. Makes sense, right? It sure does, because when it's compounded energy has the ability to radiate further. Think about that, right? Like off the screen radiate. So it's a new beginning. There's something about you understanding your independence, but not so much like I'm leaving you because I need my independence. It can be people doing that, but it can be people reevaluating who they value and do they want them as a part of their future. So if we found out in these last couple of years and in this last month and in April, if we finally, like, there's the last straw and we're like, I know this person's not going to be with me going forward. Well, then we're going to plan B and we're taking action. We're not thinking about it. We've already thought about it and we're taking action. This is an Aries at 30 degrees technically. So this Aries has developed some thinking, right? This Aries has developed some thinking. But just remember the damn Mars I talked about earlier in Cancer, okay? Because if Mars is in Cancer energy, it is squaring Aries energy. Remember that grand cross? It's squaring it. You got Aries over here, you got Libra over here, you've got Cancer down here, feelings and emotions, sending difficult squares each way, 90-degree angles, squaring Aries energy. So there's something in the Mars, something at home. So for Taurus, something with siblings, something with neighbors, something with coworkers, something even online possibly, something and somebody there, right? That's a peer, a peer. It could be somebody you're learning with, somebody you're teaching, someone who's teaching you, a peer of some sort, although that doesn't make sense because a peer would be a fellow student. But this can also be the placement of teachers, because we think of when Mars went through Gemini, which was grade school kids, people learning, because Gemini is all about learning trade or learning a new thing, a new skill set. Well, Gemini is the third house. It's the same thing, right? And that's where your Mars is going through your Cancer energy through your third. So I'm blending all these possibilities together for you so that you could figure this out in your own life. If you already have a hard time with siblings, or if you have a job and you have a hard time with coworkers, if you have peers in your life who give you stress and tension, this is a time where you could expect that and where you could, kind of plan for it, right? And understand, okay, this is what G was talking about. So whenever we're talking about Mars energy, just understand that that's going to make a difference with that eclipse. That's going to do something. All right. Now this Mars, just so you know, the Mars isn't going to square, technically it's not going to square the eclipse. All right. It's not going to technically, because Mars is only going to be fluctuating in the month of April between 7 and 18/19 degrees of Cancer energy. And the eclipse is like at 29, 30 degrees of Aries. You see? So it's not Mars itself that's squaring it, but it's just that Cancer energy and Aries energy square each other all the time. So there could just be things that are said or communications that you're reading, or you could hear. Like for me, I'll give an example. I'm living with people. We're housemates, right? What if I may overhear something that they say, right? Or somebody may talk to somebody else. And that doesn't mean, it doesn't have to be anything horrible. It just may be like, I'm thinking in my mind, that doesn't work for me. I don't like that. Like that doesn't work for me. Like in my future, where I go or where I live or who I'm with, whether I'm thinking partnerships or in a home, like I'm thinking in my mind, no, I don't like that. Like that's not part of my future. That's not who I am. You follow what I'm saying? That's just to give an example. That is just an example. All right. So give me ideas down below in the chat here or in the comments. Let me know what you're going through. Let me know how you think this may play out in your life. Let me know who it is that you think is likely going to be the ones giving you stress and how you can be alert, because it could simply be neighbors. We all know how neighbors can be a nightmare. If you have bad neighbors, watch out, right? Like, what do? Are you in the situation where you can just pick up and move? Holy crap. I'm not in that situation where I can just pick up and move because I don't like my neighbors, right? I mean, our neighbors are wonderful, thank God. We're really, really fortunate. So again, this is just examples, to help you guys figure that out for yourself. All right. So, solar eclipse is usually material and tangible and physical. We usually see it. It's like something we can hold in our hand. Okay. Remember, Venus, Taurus, this has to do with the North Node. So maybe some of you are getting some money. Let me know, please. Let me know. I hope this helps, Taurus. I will see you in the next video. Happy 2023. Happy April 2023. Bye-bye. Below the video, I'll have all the degrees for those of you who like to pay attention to the degrees in your chart. Again, if you don't know and you want to know, just comment below.